And I know for this, I don't want to presume to speak for Michael, but on this, I will presume to speak for Michael. If Rush Limbaugh, if Sean Hannity, if any one of those other hosts, Bill O'Reilly, if there was an attempt to blacklist them from Britain or Germany or France, and their names were put aside, terrorists and mass murderers and neo-Nazi racists, I am telling you, Michael would come to their defense. Now, he may rightly say, I'm not crazy about their brand of conservatism. I don't think they're a particularly effective talk show hosts. I even think many of them are buffoons on the air. But that's not the issue. This is an issue of defending our most basic civilization and our birthright. If we cannot stand up for freedom of expression and freedom of speech and tell the British government, excuse me, who the hell are you to blacklist one of our own, an American whose only crime is to speak the truth to power, to speak his values and his ideas on the airwaves. He has never advocated violence. He has never called for violence. He has never rationalized violence. Even if you think he's wrong, more than that, even if you think he's immoral, if you think he's the greatest idiot since P.T. Barnum, it doesn't matter. The point here is that when you believe in freedom of expression, when you believe in democracy, you stand up for people like Michael Savage. Isn't that what a free press is for? Isn't that their supposed cherished principle, their overriding principle, freedom of the press? And yet now, their silence is deafening. All you hear is silence. And now this man, with a target on his back, has to stand up and fight for his own dignity and his own good name. And Michael has said it, and let me repeat it. The First Amendment, freedom of speech, is not designed to protect comfortable speech. It's not designed to protect easy or safe speech. That's no problem. It's designed to protect offensive speech. Whatever happened to all those liberals who 30, 40 years ago used to say, I don't agree with what you say, but I will fight to the death for your right to say it? Where are they all now? They are cowards. Just as they are cowards in Iraq, just as they are cowards in Afghanistan, just as they are cowards on anything that affects this country. They are not liberals. They are socialist totalitarians. They are thugs at heart. And this is what this issue reveals, the totalitarianism of the modern left. And that is why they are out to destroy Michael Savage, because he exposes them for the thugs and the phonies and the liars that they are. Look, I've been to London many times. And look, let me be frank. To me, London and England and Britain, the entire island, is one big toilet in the sea. I would just flush it. I hate going to England. In a way, if the consequences here were not so serious for this man, in a way, I would almost consider it a blessing to be banned. Please, I don't want to go. Please. Oh, you mean I can't go? Oh, good. I've been to England many times. First of all, it is a filthy, filthy country. And I mean filthy in the sense of they don't pick up garbage. They don't pick up trash. This is a big problem now all across the streets of England. They are literally unable or unwilling to pick up trash. It has now become the dirtiest country in Europe. I remember when I was going there, you go to a telephone booth. I've never seen something as sickening as this. I'm talking hundreds of stickers inside the telephone booth, in every telephone booth across London. You want Asian girls 12, 13, 14. You want them in chains. You want them from Nigeria. You want them from Hungary. You want young girls. You can do whatever you want with them. You can have sex from the ceilings as far as they're concerned. Here's the number. Call. It is literally a land of moral degenerates. My wife and I, we stayed at a bread and breakfast. And, I mean, this is a woman, middle-class woman, lives in London. She was maybe 40, 45, typically English. She brings us in. Every day we serve this greasy, disgusting breakfast with the greasy eggs and the disgusting sausages. Honestly, my intestines were clogged for weeks. I don't think I've actually been well ever since I've come back. I can't digest a proper meal since I've gotten back. But leave aside the horrible food. There she is. And she's talking to us. She says, my husband left me for a much younger woman. I said, well, I'm sorry to hear that. She says, no, I don't care that he shagged around, that he was shagging. Why couldn't he just get it out of his system? Why did he just leave me? That's what I don't understand. He didn't have to leave me. If he wants to shag, let him shag. And I'm like, lady, you mean you don't mind that your husband was fooling around on you? No, it's just natural. It's just natural. A couple days later, this is, one of my experiences. I could go on all for the full 3 hours, but I'll spare you. I get woken up in the middle of the night. It's like 3:30 in the morning. This woman has a daughter. They're separated. She sleeps in one room. The daughter sleeps in the other room. The daughter couldn't have been more than 20, 21. I thought it was a nightmare. It's 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm woken up, I kid you not, by loud sounds, screaming, wailing. I'm getting up. I go, what's going on here? Is somebody being strangled? What's going on? I get up. I open the door. I start walking down the hallway. I go, oh, my God, they're having an orgy. The mother is sleeping with something and obviously having a good romp. And I swear, it was like a symphony. I felt like I was at a symphony. I could have been like the conductor. There she's wailing, then the daughter's wailing, then the mother's wailing. I could go on and on and on. England is a land of moral perverts and degenerates and drunks. That is England in a nutshell. And so when Jimmy says that they have been taken over by Marxists, yes, and England has been taken over by Marxists, and now we have that Marxist socialist Obama in the White House. And what you are now seeing is slowly but surely the 1960s revolution is coming to pass. You are seeing abortion on demand. You are seeing drugs become part of our youth culture. You are now seeing that borders have been obliterated. We are now being besieged by third world immigration from all across the world. We now have socialism at home. We are now on the verge of having nationalized health care. We now pay taxes through the nose. We are now slowly losing our economic prosperity. We are now on the verge of bankruptcy as a nation. And yet, what is the biggest problem in England? Banning somebody like Michael Savage. Literally in the streets of London, as I walk through the streets of East London, as Jimmy rightly points out, Islamic jihadists are calling for the destruction of England and the West. They openly call Christians and Jews pigs and monkeys. They stand there and say that their day is coming, that we have now become decadent, that we have lost our way, that we do not have the spine, we do not have the guts and the courage and the stomach to defend our very way of life. And so here, in the United States, in Washington, D.C., where I'm speaking to you from today, in the belly of the beast, our political and media elite remain silent. They remain silent as we are losing the war in Iran. They remain silent as our boys and girls are dying in the mountains and caves of Afghanistan. They stand impotent on the world stage. Communists like Vladimir Putin have now forced us out of Eastern Europe. It is a total capitulation. And the only man, at least that I'm aware of, on major conservative talk radio who has the guts and the conviction to stand up and speak truth to power has been Michael. And that was his greatest crime. And so now all of these so-called lefties and socialists who talk about tolerance and diversity, where is their tolerance now? Where is their respect for diversity of opinion? They have sold this man down the river and hung him out to dry. But to their shock, to their utter shock, he is now going to rise up and, mark my words, on October 15th, he will deliver a barn burner of a speech. And he will show the British for what they are. They're a bunch of moral cowards. And believe me, today it is Savage. Today it will be you. His fight is our fight. And that's why we as conservatives and as Americans need to stand behind him, sign that petition, and force Congress to push the White House and Hillary Clinton to defend this man and remove him from the blacklist. I'm Jeff Kuhner of the Washington Times, sitting in for Michael Savage, the living legend, on the Savage Nation. Savage.